Hi, I'm Rocky Raccoon, and we will be joined by Lucy, a sober alcoholic. But first I have a disclaimer. This video is not affiliated with any alcoholic recovery program. No part of this ensuing conversation is to be construed as professional advice. And finally, my guest this evening is not an actor, she is an alcoholic. Please welcome my guest, Lucy.
Hi, Rocky.
Lucy, several of our guests have shared their drinking career started in childhood. Could you share when you started drinking?
Sure, Rocky. Well, I drank in college like my friends did, but drinking alcoholically did not begin for me until my mid-30s, after I'd had my children. I have 5 children. And I took off real fast, but I had acted out addictively my entire life in other ways. However, I had not discovered that alcohol could get me out of my head so quickly. I originally acted out by working too much, exercising too much, and just drank occasionally. But then in my 30s, I discovered that alcohol was a faster way to shut down all those noises in my head. And I very quickly began drinking alcoholically and needed some help real fast.
Looking back at your early drinking, did it start as simple experimentation with alcohol, or was there a deeper reason for your drinking?
Well, in college it was simple experimentation. However, it did make me more comfortable in awkward social situations. You know, a beer in one hand and a cigarette in the other. And I found it much easier to communicate. However, in my 30s, I was experiencing a lot of trauma. I actually have severe PTSD, and the alcohol helped me for a period with the trauma and the PTSD. And unfortunately for a lot of us, addiction and PTSD do go hand in hand. And so I found that the alcohol would help me with my PTSD symptoms. But eventually it took more and more alcohol to shut down those noises and those demons. And I got really, really sick, but I was such a closeted drinker that I didn't get into any sort of public trouble, actually until the first time I sought recovery help.
Many alcoholics have shared that their drinking contributed to the failure of a marriage. Did this happen to you?
Oh, it nearly did. I've been married for almost 15 years. It's my and my husband's second marriage. And so my husband of 15 years, he did not marry a drinking woman. And he certainly didn't marry me drinking a lot, and certainly not alcoholically. And I got sick very quickly, and I was going through so much emotional pain that he and I both thought that the alcohol was helping. We really did not see how sick I was getting. And at one point I did say to him, you know, I think I might be an alcoholic. And he said, well, if you're an alcoholic, honey, you're the most active producing alcoholic I've ever seen in my life. And that was music to my ears. It gave me the right to keep drinking. So if my husband didn't have a problem with the way I was drinking and behaving, then great. I just wanted to keep going. So, you know, I certainly for a long period of time was an example of someone that was a highly productive active alcoholic, although I was drinking myself to death.
Mothers and fathers have had different experiences regarding how the family was affected during their drinking days. What can you share about what happened in your family?
Oh, this is a hard one, emotionally. I have 4 sons and 1 daughter, and thankfully recovery and working with a lot of women has helped me as a mother. There's this thing we call mother guilt, and it's a beast. Thankfully, I do have relationships with all of my children. However, my firstborn, who's only 22, he actually did not have a relationship with me or my husband or the other siblings for several years. And my drinking was a large part of that. Our home became very chaotic. And my daughter, who's the 4th born, she had a lot of responsibilities helping taking care of her youngest brother. My husband and I separated separated for a period of time. But my children and my husband also work their own recovery programs now, and we see ourselves as a family in recovery. But it was real rocky for a while, and it's amazing how much we've changed. But we all work together and we talk about the bad old days and the good days to come.
Lucy, thank you so much for being with us today. We'll continue our discussion in the next episode.
Thanks so much, Rocky. I really hope that our discussion can help someone's life for the better.